Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thanks again for joining me here. I hope you're having a fantastic day. Taking a quick look here at Ocean, seeing what's going on. We're going to look at larger time frames to help identify some key level resistances and supports, since it's been a little while since I covered this. So we're just going to draw some lines on the charts. Yes, these are arbitrary lines, but nonetheless they are relevant in the grand picture, just because sometimes these levels can have some serious importance from previous mindsets of X, Y, or Z, right? Like this was a good buy at one point. Now I feel like it still is. Sometimes there's selling pressure, buying pressure there. That's the whole point of drawing these out. So again, they're not exact, of course, but these are just weekly candlestick closures at daily. We can do the same thing for daily too, but I think we're a little ways away from that. Probably not really worthwhile. Weekly is a good start. So we'll talk about what we need to see here in order for this to continue higher or lower. If it's going to be bearish or continue lower. Generally speaking, we see a lot of volume in the overall last 2 weeks worth of trading, so it seems pretty safe to presume the price will continue upwards. But again, it's different depending on how you look at it, right? We saw a tremendous amount of volume back here, and the price action didn't move half as far as it did now, right? So does that mean this is a false move because we have less volume? Generally speaking, that's how it can be perceived. So let's look at some general, just some fib levels, of course, see kind of where we're at there. Fib levels get a little funny sometimes when you have this large of a movement. We're just going to take the most recent lowest to the most recent high, give us perspective on the overall sense of where we're at here. Okay, so we got some obvious support in between with previous week closures in between these fib levels. But let's look at some key levels here and see kind of where we're at. So we got a second stochastic swing to the downside. Generally a bearish sign, not like a bad thing. It just implies the price could continue lower, or it's showing us that because it already has, right? We also got RSI breaking below 70. That's typically a sign that we've lost some kind of support. Same thing with money flow index being very high. While that's very, very good, RSI coming under 70 can typically be viewed as a bearish sign. We got MACD trying to diverge here. Okay, but truth is, most everything is still looking very bullish. There is no real reason here to kind of consider that the price is going to fall. However, we can recognize there's a lot of volume support here previously, over the previous weeks at 43 cents. Secondary to that, roughly 72 cents. So that's next closest support for us based on volume is 72 cents. That is this range here where the price action continued before it broke out to the upside. Okay, that's generally where we're at. So this 0.618 fib level, big surprise, is that key area of consolidation, usually a strong support. So if the price doesn't pull back, we could experience a pivot or a bounce off of that level. So taking a look at Elliott Wave here, we can kind of see roughly a similar scenario. If this is the top, that's where the price is going to go. Okay, so no guarantees there, but again, it's statistical probabilities. Right now, we take a look at the 4 hour, we can see we lost a 20-day SMA. Generally speaking, when you lose the 20-day SMA in a bullish trend, the price will retrace closer to the 50. So we might have a little bit of pullback here to this most recent fib level at 0.236, $1.17. We can see, of course, that we are doing pretty well here with the 20-day SMA. Price action is below that action, but not great. Generally speaking, that's somewhat of a bearish sign. In my personal opinion, we're establishing lower lows and lower highs as well. And then, of course, we can see our second stochastic swing to the downside, carrying a little bit more weight. We're below 50 in the RSI. Money flow index is below that. These are all bearish signs, folks. Okay. If we take a look at the MACD, still diverging. So is this a point to you just short because we're diverging on the 4 hour? No. We want to look at other confirming factors, but generally speaking, we were overextended. We've lost some key level supports on the 4 hour time frame. We want to try to confirm that with the hourly. So we take a look at the hourly. We can see here, Ichimoku cloud, we've got roughly 8 hours of continuation below the cloud, which implies that we've lost that support. Obviously, we also kind of reaffirms that being a resistance. What do you know? This previous week close is holding itself at 125, pretty solid right there in the smack dab in the bottom range of that lower lead on the cloud. So that reaffirms that resistance level. So is that a bad thing? Well, it's not a good thing if you're in a long position. The likelihood of the price continuing lower is higher because we're starting to lose this level. When we take a look at this here too, we can see a previous high currently being tested as a new low. Okay, so again, pretty obvious. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 attempts to break it and finally did. And then we've retested 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times now. Is it going to break to the downside? Statistically, it's more probable than it would be for the price to go up from here. Once again, all this based on the fact that it is fairly well overextending the overall sense. But you got to recognize too, TD sequential, we just came down to a 9, and the price action is trying to consolidate and get a reset, which we have. So I think that Ocean does have potential for the price action to pull back here. Again, some people prefer to wait for the price to pivot and then come back down. But to me here, I would say get some skin in the game while you still can. I think there is a strong probability here the price action will continue lower. All right, so that's just generally where we're at here. That's kind of the consensus. Am I bearish on this coin? Yeah, tentatively. It's not a long-term bearish scenario though. But it does make sense for the price to want to pull back with what we're seeing here so far. It looks fairly weak, and I think the more likely we are to break down here is generally based on the amount of times we retest it. And we're retesting this level a lot. So again, good profit target, probably right here at this lower fib level, somewhere in the range of about 117, down from 121. That's a rough estimate there. Obviously, you could probably get some more profit out of this here, but generally speaking, that's what I'm looking at. So might consider sending out a signal for this guy depending on how the candlestick closes, but mostly, once again, mostly bearish here in this scenario. I hope this made sense and I described this correctly. This coin is tradable now as of today on Bitunix. Make sure you use the link down below to register for them. They are a phenomenal exchange. You use my link to register, you get awesome rewards, $5,500 in benefits. The reason why we use them as a community is because they're no leverage, no KYC, no VPN required, and they do offer leverage, of course. I only recommend 5 to 10x leverage if you're going to do trading, but everyone, to each their own, right? I hope you learned something today. Thank you so much. Please like, subscribe, and follow if you haven't already. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.